Hello, the one and only Xylophoney here with a new game called Scrap Mechanic. A lot of you guys suggested I play this game, so I assume many of you know what it is. But for those who don't, it's kind of an open world building game where you use different pieces of scrap to construct many really interesting contraptions like my little vehicle here. Now, there's a lot more to it, and it's in early development, so there's going to be a lot more added. But for now, we get to build some really cool vehicles, really cool designs. There's rockets, there's all different types of materials, and there's a very interesting set of physics. Now, what by interesting I mean there's a strong physics system. However, it's not 100% what you would think, but it's really interesting to work with. So we are going to get into building some things today and showing off some of the things I've been tinkering with. I think that's really the best way to manage this game, just constant tinkering. So what we are going to do first is go over to my other... No! Way to show off the innards of my vehicle before me consenting to do so. So pretty much what I just did is there's a lift. You can just pick up your vehicle and make sure it doesn't get completely wrecked. I guess we'll start off by showing off my first vehicle. No, we'll get over to the other stuff. Now, I've made a couple other things. I accidentally deleted that world while trying to create a, co-op world. I played a little bit with Mev. If you haven't seen his videos on it yet, make sure you go check those out. He's really getting into the game, which kind of helped convince me to get into the game. So we are going to chill here and take a look at my little car here. Now, of course, I got all this nice, metal piping construction, all the, let me get the accurate names of the stuff. The beams. I got beams set up, and if I hold this thing out, you can see all the wiring, which is kind of scary looking. Now, it's a little monster. As you can see, it's got teeth, it's got eyes, and it's got driver's seat for hair. So, we have an engine on here, different buttons, this thing which I'll get into soon, and some rockets, of course. I think my favorite part of this game is the rockets. First time I started playing, I could not figure out how to get engines properly functioning with cars and stuff, so I just made complete rocket contraptions. One of my original designs being over there. But we are going to show that off first because it's fun. So, this may just look like a pile of rockets to you, and it is. It is a pile of rockets attached to a platform, but the interesting thing is what you can do with these rockets. Now, there's two mysterious buttons here. So this is a driver's seat. We're going to hop in and say, ooh, we can shoot up into space if we wanted to. There's 8 rockets propelling this moderately lightweight wooden platform with even more rockets attached to it into the sky. So we can go as high as we want, and I have 2 little blocks behind me to make sure this thing maintains perfect balance. And I think it's pretty good. Let's hear. Alright, we bounced a little bit, so it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty good. One big thing about this game is the physics are important. You need balance. But now we're going to get to the fun part of this. Now, you think these are going to change the direction of this platform? Kinda. What's really going to happen is it's going to spin! Woo! Wait, other way. Yeah! So, this is just really fun. I originally had it set up so it just goes one way, but for you guys, I decided... Woo! You can just set it up so it spins multiple ways. Then you can slow it down, spin it the other way. See if we can slow down before we crash, and we can. Now, this is just one of those really fun things you can do. Just to send yourself in a spinning frenzy and catapult... Oh. Okay, cool. The driver's seat is the one that had the rockets propelled, and the buttons were, I used buttons so it only spins while you're pushing it forward. But there, you guys just saw a good look at the underneath of it. I can show a little bit closer. Really, it's just rockets that are kind of in a little X shape, so it's perfectly balanced. If I put them like unevenly or kind of at the middle or sides, it would mean this thing is, a little less balanced. One really easy way to achieve balance is just making the edges really heavy and the middle really light. That way everything pulls down equally. But that's how it is. Here's the wiring for this. Pretty much those rockets that shoot us up into the air, they're attached to the seat. The rockets that shoot us left and right are attached to the buttons. Now I have this one to spin us left, this one to spin us right. So, hey, lift. Can you not? and you can move this thing up and down. It's a really fun game, guys. At first I was a little scared to get into it because it looks like it can be very time consuming, which it can be. But it's just too much fun. So we can actually do a little bit of spinning, and I'm thinking of using this technology to make a carousel. But I might do it with some wheels and stuff too. And then people can just kind of sit in a carousel and go round and round. So right now, since we're kind of just stuck to the ground, it's moving very slowly. But as soon as we launch into the air, yeah, we can just bounce around a bit. Oh, let's see if we can flip this thing. Oh, we're getting there. It's getting a little awkward. We're kind of grabbing the ground and propelling ourselves forwards. This is the least efficient vehicle ever. Oh, there we go. Alright. Looks like we're not really going to do much with that. That's one of my favorite things. I definitely want to get into more rocket stuff in the game. That's going to be probably a later contraption, so we'll go back to the vehicle here. So here is my first working vehicle. I decided to show it off just, you know, by driving it around a little bit. Obviously, we have the turning, so we can steer left and right. Yeah, there it goes. We can do a little bit of that. It's all stuck on a basic, you know, axle system like a normal car would have. But it's not always the most efficient because, like, as you go over the bumps, the axle can get all twisted and warped in this game. So it can make things very difficult. And the car is also probably not, you know, balanced accordingly. I made it really heavy in the front because sometimes when you crank the engine, you wheelie. But that's also a really fun thing about the game. So, and of course if you go in reverse, this thing has four-wheel drive, by the way. Just because it seems to be the best way to get some speed and smooth driving. Now, we have different rocket systems in this, as you've probably seen. One, just to make it go really fast. And it also is, the rockets are a little bit more controlled than the engine. Can we get a jump? Not really that good of a jump. And the second is actually to counter a couple things here. Now, you see the rockets underneath, but you also see the beams are kind of pushing into the axis. We have some suspension things. Yeah, you see the springs right in the back there. But it's not really enough to keep the weight of this vehicle up. Now, I could try to strip away some of the weight on this vehicle, but then it would bounce around and fly a lot more often. So what I did is I gave it some propulsion upwards. There we go. Suspension created. Now this thing, it can be a little trickier to drive like this. Now, I think the trick is you got to get some speed. No, 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 not the trick, not the trick. Yeah, let's put this thing back on its end. Alright, the trick is you get some straightaway so I can actually get some speed without having any difficulties. Oh, hold on. That wasn't a good flip. Wait, we can save this. No. Alright. Yeah. Can we change the direction of that? No. Come on. So we get some speed, and then it kind of... Wait, no, we do both of them at once. Look, it was working earlier. It just was a much smoother ride. If it touches the ground, I'll just say. When it touches the ground, it's so much of a smoother ride with those rockets on. Because the rockets give a little bit of natural lift to counteract the weight of the vehicle. So, but then if you, of course, want to grip the ground a little bit more, you just turn the rockets off. There we go. That's kind of what we're looking for. Now, of course, if you do try to crank the engines back, there's rockets propelling you to go every which way. So, things can get a little bad. I'll work on perfecting that type of design soon. I originally kind of wanted it. Actually, let's put that lift down so we can show off the vehicle's innards a little bit. I originally wanted to make it fly, but obviously, since this thing is all metal beams, it's kind of heavy, so I would need a lot of rockets to make it fly, which I could just put a bunch of. But I kind of liked the suspension thing. So we got that. In the front, we actually have two extra engines that are not in use at all. We could set them up to the wheels to make them go faster, but it's kind of hard enough to get control with this thing as it is. We have a, I'm just going to make sure I'm calling that thing the right thing. Yeah, a sport suspension there. There's bigger suspensions, but I wanted this thing to be more of a normal car than an off-roader. So we have those on both axles. The front axle, of course, spins, so you can turn. The back axle just provides more power. And all the wheels, of course, spin around. So the wheels, they pretty much have to be attached to these little things, and they turn around. I'll get into it more in the future. But yeah, it works much like a normal car would. A normal four-wheel drive car would. Plus the rockets and all that. Now, that's not necessarily the best way to work a vehicle in this game, from what I've seen and what I've heard. So, we'll work on a lot of different things. But the main engine is right here up top in front of the passenger seat to keep the balance a little bit better. I was trying to work with that. We got the switches right there, so we can manage the rockets and just turn them on and off instead of using buttons like on our other thing. And here we have something that I had on here before, but I took it off so I could show you a little bit of building on here. Now, this thing is fun. So, what I had here was a beam. Now, this is going to be my anti-flip mechanism. As you saw when driving this vehicle, I flipped twice, which is not cool. So, we have a little bit of a, spike sticking out of here. But how are we going to flip with that? Well, I'll show you how we're going to flip with that. We are going to turn this vehicle into a helicopter. So, we are going to use some of these beams and place them through here. And if you guys would prefer me to play this game, like, telling you all the details of what I'm doing, I can. I just figured to be a little more entertaining at first, we'll just kind of show the results of a lot of things. Now, we need to remove the lift. So as you see, the front sinks down a little heavier. I keep the front really heavy so so we don't do a 100% wheelie. Now, there's one of those little spinner things there, and it's attached to the driving. So we just made a helicopter. Now, the helicopter doesn't provide any lift to the vehicle. The rockets do, though. But let's see if we can get this thing nice and... Aha, wait. There we go. Look, we just flipped ourselves back over. Actually, this thing is working a lot better than my original design. Oh, now we're stuck. Darn it. Darn it. Hold on. I can fix this. One thing to make these a little more perfect would be to actually flatten off those caps, because these can stick into the ground, and it's kind of hilarious when they do, but it doesn't work perfectly. So let's just shorten it off a little bit so I can show how it anti-flips, and put a couple of those just so they won't stick into the ground. Just some caps, really. And then I think this thing will be impervious to all flipperage. That's a word, right? We're going to be making up a lot of words. I got a really good word I made up coming up on the next contraption I show you guys. So, of course, if you are interested in seeing more of this game, you let me know. Obviously, it's a newer game for me, so the amount I, play it and post on here is going to pretty much correlate with how much you guys want to see it. Because I could just play it and not show you guys what I'm doing, but it really depends. Oh, man, this thing just looks dangerous now. Look what I've done to it. Oh, man. Put some blades on this, and we got a moving weapon. Oh, hold on. Steering is looking a little rough. Here, let's do that. That'll give us a little more control. Okay, it's actually, with the extra weight on the ends of it, it's shaking us around a lot. We're, like, gyrating. Hold on. Get over the rocks. Oh! See, that's what you do. When you need that control, or a little bit of lift, you hit those. Okay, now let's flip this thing. Oh, no! We got stuck again. Okay. Hold on. We can do this. No, okay, so those aren't helping at all. Let's get rid of those, yeah, let's get rid of those caps. Maybe we could use rounded caps, or if we put wheels on the end of it, I guess that would work. And as you see, when you, move what a block is attached to, the blocks just drop onto the ground. And they're little tiny blocks. It's like Minecraft in a way, but with, it's like modded Minecraft. And it's still a little buggy, as you can see. We just took off and then suddenly got stuck in the ground. So, let's put this down and move over to my other contraption. Really, Wheel? Why do you insist on getting stuck into the ground? I could just walk over there, but I wanna drive. Alright. We are going to turn. No, not that way. No, no, that's a trick. Hold on. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Ready? Hold on, no, you gotta do this. And bang. Since it pretty much works as like a lever. It just, well, not really like a lever, but it provides leverage and just like scoops the car up and then flips it back on its normal side. So, if this turning would kindly like to... That's a tree. fine. We'll just drive backwards. Okay, we'll not drive backwards. Oh, we're gonna get stuck again, aren't we? Oh, wait. Hold on, fall over. And... wait. Nailed it. Alright, let's drive slow. And with the rockets. Not those rockets. These rockets. So we can have complete control. All wheels on the ground. Able to spin. And why is my steering not working at all? It's alright, we'll hit the wall and it'll... okay, now my steering's working a little bit. Okay. Let's go over, get over to my rocket-powered Seesaw. And stop. Perfect. I guess I should probably, there. So this is my helicopter car. Hopefully you like that. Once I learn to play this game a little bit better, I'll do a smoother design. As you guys know, I'm a man of many ideas. But obviously I don't know how to play this game all that well, so I can't yet put those ideas into full fruition. But I will once I can figure out the game a lot more and learn how to play it properly. And just to show this off, the engine is just directly hooked up to the, I need to get the name of this thing. What are you called? Bearing. Okay, yeah, the engine's just directly hooked up to this bearing, so when the engine propels forward, this thing spins. If I go in reverse, it spins the other way. But now, my favorite contraption. I am working on a gyro balancing feature. And a rocket-powered seesaw. I was working on a little bit right here and failed, obviously, so the whole gyro balancing frame is there. I don't know if that's a word, but it seems like a good word. So this one's fairly simple. These wheels do not spin. They're just here because they're round. That is the only reason I use wheels. If there was some other, like, slightly rounded object, I would use that. And if it didn't clink around like tanks. But what we have here is a couple buttons, a seat, and a couple more bearings. So, first we're going to talk about the seesaw part of it. If I press those rockets, it pushes that end down. If I press these rockets, it puts that end down. Now, as you can see, it's not only a seesaw, but a swing. Oh, we did it! Oh! Hold on, let's see if we can keep this up. Yeah, I was actually having a really hard time doing flips like that before. I think we messed it up a little bit. Wait. Yeah. So, this one's just a fun contraption. Now, let me tell you my goals here. The main thing I was working with on this was to get that type of seat working. Now, I figured out how to do it. It has to be, like, completely balanced, so you're a swing instead of, you know, it being centered. If it's a swing, then your weight will pull you down and make you pretty much sit in a mostly normal position. Now, there is a lot of swinging in this game, so it's going to be doing a lot of, you know, back and forth and even the occasional flippage. But, uh-oh, we broke something! What broke? Apparently, that's not connected. I hadn't noticed that. Okay. It only needs to be connected on one side. I just had it on two for even and, you know, for sake of structural integrity. I don't know if that just broke or if it was broken the whole time. But, yeah. So, of course, just buttons set up to the rockets. Nice and simple. But this is the real thing. Now, what we have here is we have this on a extended area here. So, this is a completely non-attached block to this. I guess I have to take it apart to really show you properly, but I don't want to because I have another construction in mind. We can push this a little bit, right? No? Okay. Can we look at it? Okay, so let's do a little bit of that. So at that part I'm swinging right there. I'm going to look at this side so that doesn't distract me. So you see that one block where I swing. It's a second block from the top if you look at the side one. There's a bearing attached to that, which obviously makes it able to spin and swing. Now, that is attached to this, so if this thing flips like this, I will, you know, maintain some form of balance instead of just being pushed forward with it and pushed backwards with it. And plus, it's really fun to swing around. Wait, I almost got it again, and... oh. Hi there. I'm gonna get out of that now. But yeah, there you go. You see these bearings right here? That creates the swing, which makes this thing kind of balance itself out. Now, if I put these higher, I think it'll create a, you know, more of a stable position down there, but with more force. It'll do a lot more swinging and flipping. So I'm going to see if that's what I'm wanting. But if you guys kind of see what I'm working with here, I'm gonna see if I can demonstrate this. I want to make a full circle vehicle. And the circle is going to be like one big wheel. Now, this part will all be touching onto the ground, and if this thing flips, I don't have a way of unflipping it yet. Well, actually, maybe the helicopter... the helicopter technique could work perfectly, actually. Wow. Realizing things right here. Because if I have a flipping arm here and it lands on its side, the arm will flip it right back onto this. Although it'd be very difficult to balance it like this because it's not very wide compared to the size of it. But I want to make one big circle. Now this circle will consist of, dozens of non-moving wheels. What will move is the entire thing itself. Now that will mean that this will make it go forward. And since, once I have more rockets and more wheels on it, it'll just keep rolling. And I will stay in the middle in complete balance. I have to work on that technique a little bit, but pretty much the idea of that is once it's moving forward, the swing will put it into a state of, you'll stay looking in one direction for a little while. Or you'll just swing around more than you would. We'll get to testing that out when the time comes. But let's see if we can just put a couple more rockets on this and demonstrate a little bit of what I mean. So I think we can just do a little bit of that. And a little bit of this. A little bit of this. Actually, yeah, that'll work just fine. Doesn't need to be balanced yet. This is going to be ripped off in a second. Okay, so now, oops, we got rid of our tool. This tool is the most important thing. The connection tool. This is how you make all the engines connect to their appropriate buttons. Which is just done by clicking and dragging. You get this little wire and click, done. Well, and release, done. So if you ever do want to get into this game, it's not easy to pick up, but it's manageable. So there we go. We got 8 rockets propelling us forward now. So of course, you saw it launch back down there. This will swing us in reverse, and this one will put us forward. And now it'll pretty much just continue to roll. Now imagine there was more wheels here instead of just some clunky rockets. Then we would continuously roll forward. We almost have it. Hold on. Wait for it. Can I roll? Ah, darn it. The rockets are kind of preventing us from doing that. Wait. I have the ideas. Now this will mess with a little bit of the setup now. Of course, I got rid of the rockets. And we're almost done here. This is the last thing I have to show you guys. But, also, if we... Excuse me, swingy wheel. Can you stop? Thank you. Just stop swinging. It's not where I wanted that. Alright, let's put them there and there. Now, these we will attach... Actually, no, it would have to be going the opposite way. Well... We'll see if the momentum itself can be enough, because I don't want you guys to be here for too long. I know you have a big day ahead of you, where you might be watching more of my videos, or you might be doing nothing. All noble aspects. So, there you go. This will, also, of course, the direction of that propels it forward even more, and we roll! Okay, I think it's just the way some of the rockets are set up there, but we can roll that way. Hold on. Momentum. And we have successfully rolled our vehicle. And rolled it back! Yeah! This is what it's gonna look like. Except it's gonna have a full wheel around it, so we won't do that. And I have to make sure this thing is 100% balanced, or else it'll just tip on its side after rolling a couple inches. But that's everything I have so far. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this first episode of Scrap Mechanic. It's really just, messing around with stuff and building some really fun, cool contraptions. And having a good time tinkering. So, leave a like if you have enjoyed. Leave comments suggesting things I should build next. And I guess that's it. So, I will see you next time.